Um, in other words, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at our public school systems,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're already at things are not that great when it comes to supplies
I ain't gonna say
and
supplies
children
because supply.
needing what they need in order
Mm-hmm.
to have a great learning experience.
Well, I ain't gonna say supplies because supplies is based on the parents. You know, if you talking about like books,
Yeah, I'm
and then
talking books.
yeah, some schools are really suffering through that. I mean, here in Florida, we got one of the best school districts in the nation, Palm Beach County, considering, but they don't pay nothing.
Oh my.
They sure don't pay nothing.
So maybe if some of those funds that they're cutting from the grants,
Right.
maybe they need to push those funds into the teachers' pockets.
You heard my wife.
You know,
That is not gonna happen.
maybe you'll get really good caliber of teachers that
That's
will be
not gonna
willing to
happen.
come to
Truly,
the
that's not.
the public schools, because most of the great teachers, not all, they prefer to teach private because it's a different atmosphere.
Well, that's not gonna happen. So,
So I feel that if they push some of those
well, if you,
funds into public teachers' pockets, you'll get a better
honey,
caliber
well,
of
you
people.
gotta understand what you're saying.
I understand exactly
You're
what I'm
cutting
saying.
programs.
You
That
said
look,
financial aid.
yeah, financial aid, that finance, governmental aid. You could, that's a lot got to do with the budget. Okay,
Or not
that
for
funds
public.
public schools. Yes.
Well, put it in the
Okay,
teacher's
now,
pocket.
and also colleges to Pell Grants and things of that nature. Now,
I understand
you
all
gotta
that.
understand this.
But if they gonna cut it, put it to good use.
Well, you're cutting after school programs, which is
Mm-hmm.
bad, which is a lot of kids struggle. That's why my shouts out to Oxbridge Academy because I mean it is a private school, but they do believe in after school programs, allowing those kids really to hang out, uh, to hang out, you know, and to get away from the hustling, the you know, a place for them that like a safe haven.
Mm-hmm.
You
I think
know,
that's a really great idea.
you know, it's a safe haven. It's a private school, but you know, it's a lot. They accept a lot of you know of our kids there. A lot of our minority kids there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and they do care. And that's one thing about that school. They do care about the children. The thing is, they're expensive, but they do care. And they got in trouble. You know, of course, you can look it up. But they got in trouble based on they saying they was giving out money, which is a bunch of hogwash and all that. A lot of people got jealous of that. But in the public school, they cutting a lot of the programs. They cutting foreign language.
They cutting foreign
They
language.
cutting foreign language.
Wait a minute. Now
So
that
it's not
is a
even in.
requirement to enter into college. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have at least 2 to 4 years of foreign language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're cutting that, oh
I
my.
had coffee in my mouth.
Mhm.
Go ahead now. What you say? That's why I did that.
I'm saying if you're gonna cut,
Mm-hmm.
foreign language in high schools.
Right.
I know when we went to college, that was a requirement that we had a foreign language.
Yeah, it's a requirement to get into college. And now, if you cut that, it's still, you know. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the thing that got me. She was asked a question. Um, Mr. DeVos asked a question about discrimination of federal funds. If a school
Mm-hmm.
is given federal money and they are discriminatory against a certain race,
Mm-hmm.
will she stop the funds from coming or being sent to that school, particular school?
What she
They
said?
use Virginia in particular, right?
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. You know what she said?
What she say?
She said, in other words, she said she will not engage because she said something about the what uh, she said something about the Civil Rights Act movement and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, if they, in other words, no. Okay, let's get to the point. No.
Mm-hmm.
She said no. In other words, but she colored it up politically. And so the lady that was sitting there, she was like, okay, no, you won't charge the school if they, discriminatory against a certain race for letting a certain race enter into their school. So now she based on segregating schools back to what it was in the 60s and 70s and things of that nature. So now when colleges acceptance rates, when they got to allow a certain amount of race to come into their school, now it's going to come to a point, if that thing passed, they don't have to allow that. That school can be discriminated. It still get federal funding. Ain't that something?
That is something.
So, I mean, we got to pay attention to what's really, truly going on around here.
That is true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that one.
Yeah. So, that part of it is kind of horrible, guys. My wife got the mic and whatever. But, yeah, so.
Really?
Yeah, you got the mic all in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is bad.
Oh my goodness.
They say a good.
All in there, huh?
So they say a good thing about this is Donald Trump has released money for small businesses, for banks to loan small businesses money. It's easy for the small business now to get a loan to start their business.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Now, because there's a lot of small businesses out there that's really struggling, and they really need the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. I say get up off your stupor, and you know what's happening. This is a lot of time things happen uncomfortably to make us move to where we need to go, to make us not sit down and be content about life as it is, and for us to get up and move, guys.
Yeah.
All right, things are happening like that. It's just because it ain't that God is mad at us. Yeah, God wants you to move. He wants you to get things going. He wants you to get thrive. He wants you to, So now you know that these things are taking place. Now you know these things are taking place around the world, in the country, and whatnot. There's a lot of cuts, and also the $1 trillion cuts, they say, or whatnot. So. It's based on the $2 trillion.
Trillion. Well, that could really fix the deficit if that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they finna hurt a lot of people in the progress that was dependent on these services, though. You talking about fix the deficit, you finna hurt a lot of people. You finna hurt a lot of people progress.
Yes, indeed.
That's supposed to fit the deficit when you're trying to fix the deficit. So what did you have to say based on that? Give me your feedback on that, honey.
On which one? The Bessie Duval?
Yeah.
Well, I really don't have much of a comment on that because I'm not really too in depth when it comes to financial aids and how it's really distributed throughout, the schools. I know I know they have people in place to oversee a lot of things that goes on. I would just say to the people that that do put in for college, that if they feel like they are discriminated or against when
college,
it comes to,
if it's trickled down to college, school, high schools,
whatever it may be, and you were originally given that thing, just let your voice be heard.
Right. Now, here's the thing with that. During that time, it's forced us. When schools are segregated and people say, no, you can't come here, you weren't allowed to come here, that's when African Americans start saying, you know what, we got to start our own.
Yeah,
that's
what we need to do.
That's when the HBCUs start coming in effect and all that. And where we in now, and we just look down on. But trust me, you're going to be thanking God for the HBCUs and stuff. And how we funded our HBCUs is through private funding. During that time, it was private funded. You know, we worked together to get things and to push our education for our kids. So now, do we have to get back to that? Yes, we have to get back to that because we done missed it. And now this is our way. This is God's way to say, hey, get yourself together, get your house in order, because it's going down, man. Okay. All right, you got weather?
Yes, today's weather for West Palm Beach. It is currently 76 degrees.
Yeah.
For today, we will be having light rain. We're set to have a high. Looks like about of 89.
89 degrees.
I'm sorry, not 89, 90 degrees and a low of 72.
It didn't rain last night or something?
It rained like some cats and dogs.
It rained like some cats and dogs.
And that's why, let me hold that for you.
Okay. Thank you.
That's why you slept so good.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning, I was like, ooh, I had some good sleep last night.
Yeah, we got to be humble or whatever. All right. But, as we moving on to that, and speaking of getting your house in order, there's 10 ways that we talking about today. 10 ways to stay calm in the face on daily stress. So I know a lot of people are really stressed out daily or what they're going through and probably what they're probably facing right now, so yeah. What we got, honey? Let's say number one is plan ahead. Come on. Here you go, sweetie.
Yes, you always want to plan ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We don't always know what's going to walk through our door, but we probably have a pretty good idea of the general types of pressures we may face on a daily basis.
Right.
So decide in advance on a few possibilities that could occur and how you would handle them. A simple formula such as if X happen, I'll do Y. You can make all the difference. So if you know you're already going to be dealing with a certain situation or certain group of people and you already know the dynamics of things, so that you can handle, as we say, you can stay calm in the middle of your daily stressors. Plan ahead. Now, if you be saying to yourself, now if this happened, this is what I'm going to say. If that happened, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I'm not going to let them stress me out. I'm going to keep calm in the situation.
So did you ever have to go through that?
All the time.
How do you handle that, though? Do you just kid and pour it out on other people? She like to pour her stuff out on other people.
If I don't pour my stuff out on other people.
Okay. I had to get you going with that, but go ahead.
No, if it's my family, I'll let them know what my day went like.
Yeah.
But when it comes to dealing with people and different dynamics.
Okay.
And you already know if you always have somebody that's a whiner, you don't feed into their whininess.
Okay.
You just stay your distance and be firm and say, oh, I'm really busy right now. I can't engage in your conversation. Or just do what you have to do, and they're going to be whining, but you just done shut them down, but you're doing whatever you need to do.
Okay. All right. Well, she got that in. Number 2 is focus on a thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. For me, to most people, multitasking typically leads to chaos. I try to choose one task, see it through, and then head on to the next task that needs to be done. Okay? And when you think about that, you try to multitask and you know.
I'm always multitasking.
But I think in business-wise, if you're trying to multitask,
it all depends.
If you got one thing going on, that's what happened to a lot of people. They have one thing going on, but they don't stick to that one thing until it grows. And sometimes, multitasking can be chaos,
It really can.
especially in certain situations. If you think about it now, when you're doing work like paperwork and things of that nature, fine. That's short term. That's short task. That's a short way of multitasking. Because if you're doing paperwork, you want to finish that, then go to that. Some people can do two things at one time when you're talking about paperwork, but when you're talking about business and running a business and nurturing a business, you got people with two businesses. But understand, you got to get that one business ran for that second one to be successful. Once you get that one, like me, we got a business. I got that one business that I'm in a lot that we run. We run it, until it becomes successful. But it takes time. We can focus on other businesses, but we can't really go into a lot of other things. So we trying to run until this one grows. Because business is basically, it takes a lot. Like if you're trying to multitask, it takes a lot of your time. Certain things. Can you get him, Charlene, please?
That's Leo this morning.
The dog be acting up sometimes.
It's all good.
So when you're multitasking, it takes one thing and one. Go ahead, talk, because I done lost my train of thought.
Yes, you did. Leo did it. But when you're multitasking, I know for me, I'm always multitasking, and if you don't stay focused really on what you're doing your multitasking, things can get pushed somewhere or forgotten to do. For me, when I'm multitasking and I know I have a number of things that I have to do, people be like, wow, you just do it all and you get it all done at a good time. I say for me, I have to I write it down. If I know I got 20 things that I got to get through in 8 hours, I'm gonna start from the most important thing, and I'm gonna work my way down, and I'm gonna try to really not lose my focus during the process. Because when you're multitasking, if you lose focus, true enough, something's gonna get forgotten, or you're not gonna be able to complete your task that you have at hand. So it's always good for me, and I'm just gonna say to people, to write it down. Write it down. Once you get it done, slice it off the sheet. Keep it moving.
Keep going on him still. Okay. So, that's good stuff. Number 3 is be flexible. No matter how carefully we can plan, there's always a chance that a situation will pop up that has precedence over everything we've planned.
Yeah.
When this happens, I take a moment to regroup and prepare the methodically deal with the new issue. Okay,
And
number
in
4.
business, and in the workplace, it's always like that though. You have certain things that you say, oh, I got to get this done, and you're engaged and you're getting it done, and then boom, all of a sudden something happens. You got to leave what you're doing, take care of that, come back, regroup, and continue doing what you were doing.
All right, and number 4, don't sweat the small stuff. That's
That's a true statement.
that's a true statement. Not all tasks are equally important. Some of them remain undone for, let's say, later with no major consequences. Setting priority helps me maintain a sense of control. A lot of people, they go through that. I know I used to go through that, and I still do sometimes, sweating the small stuff because I get upset. That's a part of me that I have to work on. Cause like a lot, like I have grown from that. Sweating small stuff. A lot of people, they have not grown from that. A lot of people still sweat the small stuff. So I mean, and if you sweat the small stuff, give them some feedback on that.
Yeah.
Sweating the small stuff is not always good. All right.
That's right.
And number 5, count to 10. Especially when you're sweating the small stuff.
Yeah, breathe.
When I feel like I'm bombarded for every angle, I take a short break and then take a situation with a fresh pair of eyes. Just taking those few seconds to count to 10 gives me Give me the distance I need for a new perspective. Now, do count to 10 work?
I believe it does. If not
Yeah.
counting to 10, at least um, walk out, get a a fresh air, and come back in. You tend to just
Do you
calm
count to
down.
10?
I do. I tell people when I'm this, that, and they bombarding me. I say, give me a moment.
Okay.
That's what I say. Give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have my moment, I'm not counting, but it is almost about 10 to 12 minutes. Not
Mm.
12 minutes, but 10 breaths, 12 breaths, and okay, I'm
That's
now ready to engage again.
that leads us into number 6 when you talk about breath. Is also say control your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you are anxious, it tend to take quick. We tend to take quick breaths. This is called hyperventilating, and it can make us feel dizzy, lightheaded, and panicky. I guess that's what that is. It can also interfere with our judgment, or if you catch yourself hyperventilating, try to inhale in a deep breath through your nose, holding it a second. I don't know if all that stuff worked though,
It
because I try.
works. That's that you don't breathe it like
Hyperventilating.
that. Yeah.
Mm.
You be like, oh, wait a minute, my chest, oh, no, breathe.
Breathe, right? Yeah.
And you can tell when people are anxious because the way that they talk, it kind of like
Mm-hmm.
escalates, and you be like,
Yeah.
you all right? Just breathe.
Right. Right.
Breathe.
Right. Let's go here. To avoid gloom, number 7, to avoid gloom, doom, and attitude. One's often anticipated the worst possible, often ridiculous conclusion to a situation. For instance, if you don't do those numbers for the report, by the end of the day, I'll lose my job and starve to death in the streets. So avoid the gloomy attitude, going through that situation.
Yeah, you got some employers that will tell you if you
Think
don't have that
positive.
report into me by the end of the day.
You need to think positive.
Uh-huh.
Some people going through that right now on their
Mm-hmm.
job. So that's why y'all need to join us on Evening Commute when we talk
Actually,
about
this
issues.
evening.
Yeah, this evening. Y'all join us on Evening Commute because we're talking about some things. Evening Commute is our evening show that we do after we come home from the hustle and bustle of work.
Yeah.
You could drop a line or two. So join us on Evening Commute at 7 o'clock. We do that show at 6:30 too, right?
6:30
6:30
to
to
7.
7. Yeah. And that'll be it. We're gonna do 7 and we're gonna leave it right there. Now it's time for Inspirational Corner with Alze Dukes.
Woohoo!
And let's get inspired with that.
On to our inspirational corner today.
Woo! Yeah!
The title of this poem
Yeah,
is
wow. Charlene.
The Beauty of God. And this is by Charles Johnson. And it reads, look at the trees, and what do you see? The beauty of God. Look at the flowers, and what do you see? The beauty of God. Look at the sky, and what do you see? The beauty of God. Now look in the mirror, and what do you see? The beauty of God.
All right.
And that's today's inspiration.
Okay.
I do have a scripture for you
You
today.
got to put that in there.
Today's scripture is coming from Joshua 1:9, and it reads, have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whatsoever thou goest.
All right.
And that's today's scripture.
That's today's scripture. Motivation to tip. Keep going. Keep looking forward, and keep doing what you need to do in life. I know on the live feed, you guys probably couldn't hear us that well. We had the mic out. The mic was out. I know they couldn't probably hear you because you talk so soft. I know my mouth is big, so I know they probably heard me pretty good. So, but it's all good though. We forget,
good.
So it's all good. So What we got, honey?
Any questions or
Ain't no
concerns?
questions. I don't know if there's no questions or not.
Morning, you two. Don't woke me up this early. Morning grind.
Okay, all right. Yeah, all right.
You got LOL into the teacher's pockets. I agree with her.
Wow.
Yeah, put it in the teacher's pockets.
You always get feedback. Yeah. Join us at the Improv, man. Coming soon to a theater near you. The theater near you. We're going to be doing it. So join us here soon. I'm trying to watch out for your speaker because when we doing this podcast, you hear all that rumbling in the thing, so I have to edit it out. So thank you guys for joining us. Put it in the teacher's pocket. What you say?
I said put it in the teacher's pockets.
Mm-hmm.
People have no idea what teachers go through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can't handle your own child, what do you think about teachers?
Yeah.
You know? Put it in the teacher's pocket.
Put it right on in the teacher pocket. Put it all in the teacher pocket, right?
Yeah, put it in the teacher's
In the
pocket.
teacher pocket. So I mean, after school programs is that's gonna really hurt a lot of children.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of kids. You can't just because you don't know, because you're excluded from a lot of things that take place in the world, and you go up with your experiences and say this is what need to be done. Man, you need to be well rounded when you're working in the political arena, man.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't have it like you may have it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
For real.
And she's a
billionaire.
Self-made billionaire or
billionaire.
Handed down.
She's a billionaire. I don't know, but I know she's a billionaire. I don't know about self-made. I know it's in her genes or whatnot. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I know that she didn't have to worry about the struggle and hustle and buggle and all that. She had friends that had it and took care of her, looked out for children and stuff. A lot of people is not fortunate like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at the slave, the slave, how things was handed down from slavery. And I know we can't live in that type of, era. Mm-hmm. We got to look past that. But a lot of people got to understand, a lot of that stuff stems from that, with fathers and all that and things of that nature, the father absentee. And speaking of that, LeVar Ball said something that made a lot of sense. And y'all may think I'm a LeVar Ball fan, but I stand with that brother because he said this.
What did he say?
He said like this. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, a lot of jokers talking about, I need to step back. He said, why do I need to step back? He say, well, you seen these great athletes come up and they made a lot of sense. And I said this too, right? Mm-hmm. I said this too. Thank you, Charlene. I said this too. Well, you see a lot of great athletes come up. Mm-hmm. You don't see their fathers there.
Yeah, that's true.
He said when Dwayne Wade came up there, he said, did you see his dad in the He said, did when LeBron James come up, did you see his dad? Huh? No. Did Carmelo Anthony come up, did you see his dad? No. Huh? A lot of these athletes, a lot of these people are not used to a black athlete, great athlete. Fathers, they're not used to fathers being in the picture like he is. Mm-hmm. And you say, look, I'm the one pushed him to where he is today. He said, I would never step back on my son. I would never step out the picture because that's what they want. And you want to hear mama, mama, mama. Mm. And that's all you hear with those black guys. When you see African American, that's all you hear when them boys is up there talking.
My mama.
My mama. Thank my mama for being there. Nothing about their dad. Not one thing. But when you hear a Caucasian athlete, most of those guys, they either say something about their dad or their grandfather, mm-hmm. or their dad, 9 times out of 10, be right there with them.
That's a true statement.
I'm telling you. Y'all may look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, it's the God-heaven truth.
Yeah, just weigh it out.
I'm telling you. And we look at it like, oh, why is LeVar Ball and Lorenzo, why is he in his son way? Because you're not used to that. See, I'm used to that because I'm in my kid's ear every day. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe me, ask my daughter. Is that right, Charlene?
Yeah.
I'm in your ear every day. I call my son. I'm in his ear. He chose not to play football, and I told him, I say, listen. I said, you're gonna regret that. It's gonna, it's gonna be on you. You know? Because he hurt his knee. He couldn't do nothing. I said, you heal up, you need to. Now he's saying, Dad, I'm training every day. Because I know where my gift at. That's gonna make room for me. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
So he training every day still. Because he said you never know. You know? I'm in his life. That's why he's where he is, right? He's finished college. He's doing what he's on his own, and he's doing well, right?
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So it is imperative that a man be in a son's life. And that's why I applaud LeVar Ball for being in his son's freaking life.
That's it. Kudos.
Y'all need to step back and stop hating, man. Talking about he's controlling. That's stupid. And then we always sit around talking about where's the man? When you see it, you look at it like the children, the children of Israel. They was in the wilderness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God sent manna from heaven, rained manna from heaven. They looked at it and said, manna.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is it?
Yeah.
When you crying about you're hungry,
Mm-hmm.
then when I send food, you can't believe it because you never seen it been sent like that.
Yeah.
See, some of us are just accustomed to one thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you preaching now. Go
Yeah, it
ahead.
ain't about preaching, man. We always talking about we preaching.
Well, you're saying a good word.
You understand what I'm saying? It ain't about preaching, man. It's being real. And we're accustomed to one thing.
Goodness.
And once we get so accustomed to seeing one thing, and then once it comes, we look at it and say, what, we want to criticize it.
Mm-hmm.
You got major stars that's sitting up there, not even supporting his brother. You got some that is, because you got guys like Charles Barkley. He's saying, his dad need to step back. Now, just like the brother said, he said you don't hear Charles Barkley saying nothing about his children.
Mm.
He talks about his two dogs.
Oh.
Okay, and I respect Charles. Don't get me wrong. I like Charles Barkley. He get crazy, But you'll never hear nothing saying nothing in his son's life. Mm-hmm. We love to let our kids make their decisions for them. They too young for that. He been in the game. He knows. That's why he went out there and stepped out there and got what it was. He got a brand for his son because he know the importance of brands.
Mm-hmm.
And we talking about the 3 big shoe companies in the world. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Who making these shoe companies be big in the world? We are. With our kids' talent. And we can't even see it. Trust me, that's why we branded. We got our own brand. Early morning grinding. You watch to this day. When we started early morning grind, you gonna see early morning grind flourish. And this is to all the naysayers. You watch. You gonna see. You see what I'm saying? Because I know the importance about a brand.
Mm-hmm.
You see these brands out there now? Nobody is understanding what's the importance of a brand, how you start your own brand, how you become a brand. We are branded now. And it may not seem in your eyes because some of you never seen before, but we are. And that's what LeVar Ball did. His approach is, I got to be a model for my kids. Mm-hmm. And I got to show my kids how to get out there and step beyond criticism. See, that's why he's making everybody so uncomfortable. See? Mm-hmm. He in the picture. When Muhammad Ali stood up, it made everybody uncomfortable. Right? Mm-hmm. Kyle Kaepernick, he stood up, kneel for injustice. Made everybody uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, he did.
Nobody don't even want to sign the kid. He ain't do nothing wrong. But you see the the systematic racism in the world today.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say, man. For real. So I'm just saying, I applaud LeVar Ball for standing up for his dad, for his son, and saying, hey, this would need to go. I'm going to stand up for my son. There's a lot of men you need to learn from LeVar Ball. Because you got sons out there that you're not taking care of. You're not paying attention to. And you got another man coming to the young man's life. God sent another man and coming to the young man's life, and he raised him. Now you're mad. You need to pay attention to what you got. What that saying, Tyler Perry, was done in the dark? What she told that man? She said, make sure you take care of what you have because you never know who you got. Yeah. When the son became a basketball player, NBA basketball player.
Yeah. Take care of the ones you love.
Because you never know what you may have, what you be raising.
That's true.
That's right. Y'all need to pay attention, man. It goes on around us every day. So I applaud LeVar Ball dad. I mean Lorenzo Ball. I applaud LeVar Ball, Lorenzo Ball dad, because he's standing up for his kid. He's speaking up for his kid. Now everybody want to hear Lorenzo. What you have to say? Why you let your dad say? Because he's my dad. And I do what my dad say. See, society is not used to that. You see how we so systematically trained? We're not used to it. And this stems back way back to slave time. We're not trained. We train you see what I'm saying? We are trained on that fashion, on that level, right? And so when we see somebody that stand up for their son, we look at it and say, man, he need to sit down somewhere. Because guess what? We're not used to that because nobody stood up for us like that.
That's it.
So we look at it and say, man, what is he doing?
What is this?
You don't even understand. Other races, they stand up for their kids. Spanish, Chinese, Asian. They stand up for their kids. They get on their sons. You understand what I'm saying?
And they drive them.
They drive them, man. Especially Asians, man. You ever see how they? I got a few Asian friends. But let me tell you something. When when you see their dad, like a lot of students that I know, when it's come time for involvement, you see their fathers, their whole family.
Whole families show up.
I was at Nova, and they was having graduation, and I seen a few Asian kids and a lot of other, I seen fathers, mothers, the whole shebang. Congratulations.
The only other race that I've seen it very large is from Africa. The family that comes over. They're the first one to graduate from college. Everyone is there.
Yeah.
They even bust out in dances.
Yeah. See, we're not used to that. We look at it and say, look at them clowns over there. Look at them clowns. They so extra. You don't know the struggle.
You don't know the struggle to be the first
See,
one.
they come from the motherland. They got that concept. We over in Americanized. We was taught to say, hey, man, you know what? Leave them kids. And then we get mad when a political figure say the blacks, they don't even take care of their kids. We get mad about that because we know it's true. They don't take care of their sons. Their sons running rapid out here. Why you see these boys when they make it to the pro level and you see these boys do some stupid crap?
That's stupid.
Out there selling drugs.
Really?
This one kid get caught selling drugs. A first round pick. I ain't going to call his name.
Oh, my.
First round pick. He down there selling drugs. Really? Really?
Oh, my.
We got to make the that's another situation. I ain't going to even go into that. But his brother was there in his life as a figure. You see what I'm saying? I think his dad was there, but But let's say other incidents that's took place, because that incident is kind of different. I shouldn't have brought that up because I think his dad was, he was all in their life. But still, not really, in a sense, because he was like that when he was young too. And we had took a lot of men to get in his face. But see, there's a lot of other young men out there, brothers, that's absent. And you hear when they go do interviews, listen to the interviews.
I just want to say thanks to my mom, my teacher. They don't even say pastor.
No, I mean, look, just hear the interviews. Hear the interviews. Listen to them.
True.
So that's what I want to say. That's why I applaud LeVar Ball. Because he ain't going to let his son get caught up. And he said it. He said, you don't hear Kobe, dad. Kobe dad was there, but you didn't hear Kobe dad stepping up. Right? Mm-hmm. You didn't hear Dwayne Wade dad stepping up. Right? You didn't hear about Dwayne Wade dad. You didn't hear about Carmelo Anthony dad. You didn't hear about Kevin Garnett dad. No. And to this day, you don't hear about Kevin Garnett dad. You don't hear about LeBron James' father. And to this day, you don't hear about LeBron James' father. I think LeBron made a statement about his dad. So a lot of them guys, man, you don't hear nothing about their father. Especially when I'm talking about big name athletes. Now you hear this kid, LeVar Ball, come out. Now everybody uncomfortable. Now Lorenzo Ball come out and his dad step up, LeVar Ball. Oh, everybody uncomfortable. What are you doing? Big baller brand. What is that? What is he doing? What about Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour? What about that? Ain't nothing wrong with that, but what about that? No, man. He knows the value of his children and his son. And that's the thing right there. This is the Jewish custom. And people don't even understand. When Jewish people, when they get businesses, they pass it down.
Pass it down. Everybody's involved.
Because they know the value of their children and the value of generation wealth.
Yes.
Y'all better get this thing, man. Now I'm preaching. Y'all better get this thing, man. Y'all sitting around here playing. Like I told you, man, I'm on here. And you watch the early morning grind brand. Because I know the importance of generational wealth. It ain't going to start off like everybody think it is. Just like my bishop said, you got to have faith in God. Faith in God will move mountains. Here's a man that came down from New York City with nothing. Now he runs one of the biggest ministries in South Florida.
Not only that, he's a provost.
And he's a provost. Now watch this. Not just ministry. He's an African American. He's a trender. He's a trendsetter.
Trailblazer.
He's a trailblazer. And you said, well, he got a church. No. Now watch this. Not only that,
that's his knowledge.
He runs a accredited university called UFTL, University of Fort Lauderdale. He knows the value of generational wealth. Now watch this. God blessed him with 2 boys. When you go to the Faith Center, you watch where his 2 boys be sitting. You think they be all up in the stands and all where with their friends talking? They right in the front row, taking it all in.
That's it.
Sitting right by their mama. And he bring them on stage. This is my son. These my 2 sons, Elijah and Zane. Right?
Right.
And he speaks over their life. What they gonna be, who they gonna become. See, people don't they look at that and say, man. Huh?
They do.
I speak over my kids' life. I told my daughter, you the executive, you gonna be the executive over this, you gonna da-da-da-da-da, and my son, hey, we know the importance of generational wealth. Right? And just like Bishop said, I leave here, guess what? This church won't be lacking none. The organization won't be lacking none because I set it up to be successful.
And that's because vision is
Vision.
there. You got to have a vision for
That's
success.
right. That's right.
I heard one of the ministers say that here we are, we do, when we look and we plan maybe 4 to 7 years out. He's already planned like 20 years out.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Man, Bishop in 2045. And just I have a friend on podcast say not just the Jewish cultures outside of our own.
Yeah.
Asians, they plan ahead hundreds of years.
Yeah.
There's a man on YouTube or whatever you call it, on the news. I seen it because I read through a lot of stuff. And I read stories. And there's a man that say he'll get somebody, $700 million or something to marry his daughter. That's wealth in the family. Y'all may look at it and say, that's crazy. So you get somebody $700 billion to marry his daughter, because he don't want to know anybody. You don't think he going to just go there, he going to say, okay, here's my daughter. No.
No, player.
No.
I'm pretty sure there are some stipulations that
There's some great stipulations before you marry his doggone daughter and marry into his wealth. He didn't want anybody marrying up in his, And I think that's what any other culture. You understand what I'm saying? Before you put your name on my daughter, before you put your name, I'm going to see what you all about.
That's it.
Before you put your name on Sister Charlene over here, because this going to be, listen what I'm telling you. This right here is real. This ain't no play. This ain't no social media thing that we just doing and throwing that. That logo, what we got, that's our brand, what we have, is incorporated.
Say it now.
Saturday morning coffee talk is incorporated. Websites is incorporated.
Yeah.
Things are moving and moving fast. Don't think, no. Because she's definitely a part, plays a major role, her and my son, for what's taking place here. Generational wealth.
Generational wealth.
Y'all got to get with it, especially our own race. And stop looking at LeVar Ball, oh man, he need to sit down somewhere. No, he don't. LeVar Ball, if you hearing Reuben and Alza do some early morning grind, if you turn on your Facebook, or if you seeing us on social media, anywhere on YouTube, I'm going to say that if you see this segment, man, I applaud you for what you're doing for your son. You hang in there, you stick in there. We're praying for you. And you take up when those critics try to come after him, because that's what he does. He block all that stuff. He blocks that. Shouts out to LeVar Ball, man.
Shouts out.
You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to him.
Do we have any more questions or comments?
Generational wealth. And you got a lot of these young men around here, they trying to find out who they are, man. Especially black young men. Especially black African American young men, man. Us. Trying to figure out who we are. You seen these kids get out of prison and jail? Yeah, man. They are programmed. And that's how it was in slavery. Programmed. Master let you go, you're happy.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm freed. Yeah. And you uncontrollable.
Yeah,
Not even thinking
media,
straight.
Too. Social media just pops all kind of stuff up when it comes to these certain videos and all this. And
I'm talking.
there is no balance out.
We talking about generational wealth.
Absolutely.
Especially when you look at on social media, you see all of us out there fighting. The only thing we look at is we fighting.
Everything is fight.
All of us African American, we fighting. We want to beat up either. That's the only thing. Now watch this. Now if you want to take that and put it into show business, what you need to do is get you a channel, create you a brand, all right, and start writing a flick or something. Start writing your own stuff. Okay, if that's what you want to do, if you want to film action, start writing your stuff. Start creating you a brand. Start building something for your generation. Be a trendsetter. Be a trendsetter. Nobody doing this. Who doing this? Nobody doing this. So I told my wife, nobody doing. Man, I'm Adobe Audition, Premiere, Adobe Audition. I do all that stuff now. Build websites now because why? I went and prepared myself for that. I sat in class for 9 months for that jump. Doing radio, shoot my own commercials, write my own scripts, all of that. See, you're building generational wealth. And guess what? Not only I did it, who else went with me?
Charlene.
I took my daughter with me. Say, hey, you come on. She know it too. That's why she producing, right?
That's right.
All right, I done took up enough time for everybody's time. All right, what you got to say?
Have a blessed and awesome day today,
All right.
and create wealth for your generation.
All right.